Yo, what's good, guys? This is my video about the Eastern Conference predictions. So, I made a Western Conference predictions video. Be sure to check that out. It was fire. I took very long to edit it, so please watch that video because it means a lot if you watch it to me because I'm trying to reach my dream. Okay, so let's start with the 8th seed. I'm gonna guess, and I believe it's probably gonna be the Charlotte Hornets because they got LaMelo Ball this season, and last season he was playing very well in Australia, but he did get that injury at the end. And last year they were only ninth seed Charlotte. So if they add LaMelo, it's gonna be even better. Devonte Graham will play better because he's developing. He's a good young player. Last season was his breakout season, and he was really good that season. Credit to Devonte Graham. He played really outstanding last season, but then it kind of hyped, fell down, but it doesn't matter. They also got former All-Star in Hayward. If you remember, Hayward was an All-Star in Jazz, I believe. And when he went to Celtics, his first game was devastating and he wouldn't reach that same level, but he's still a quality player. Don't underestimate him. He can still do things for the team. Don't underestimate Hayward. Like I've seen some people underestimate him too much, and he could be a good leader for this team. Vizier had his best season last season. Last season, he was given more of a role to control the team and be the leader. Looks like he might leave this season because he wants to be the leader of a team, and he just had a great year last year. MJ is their owner, and if MJ is your team owner, you might have some chance of making a playoffs, obviously. And they have an exciting future overall, like PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, Devonte Graham, LaMelo Ball. Like they have quality young players and they look like a great team to make the playoffs. Sorry, Hawks fans, I'm not thinking you guys are going to make the playoffs. And the team actually has really good scorers added. They have Hayward, who averaged 17.5 points last year, and then Devonte Graham averaged 18.2 last season. Brazier averaged 18 points and LaMelo Ball averaged 17 points. The point is, these guys are ballers. They could score buckets. Hopefully, if they play good defense, as long as they do that and stay consistent, they're gonna look like threats. And I'm expecting that Hayward number to go up from 17.5. And my number 7, I think, will be the New York Knicks. I actually have a feeling they're making the playoffs. They got Obi Toppin, and he's really good. What a player he is. And he's athletic. He has lots of experience. They got Mitchell Robinson developing. He's just getting better and better each day. They have good depth. They're one of the teams with great depth, and they have great shooters. They're one of the biggest, actually the biggest market, and this will be the year I think they'll make the playoffs. And they have Tom Thibodeau, so it won't be bad. Now, Psych, you actually thought, if you actually believe that I think the Knicks are going to make the playoffs and they have horrible shooters, and if you think you actually fell for that, then comment down below because you just got finessed. Well, my actual number 7, I think, is the Pacers, and their defense is very consistent. I think there's a stat their defense has been above average for the last 12 years, like a record. Like, that's really impressive. They play a good defense, but they need shooters, and like they just need more shooters around. They're the worst shooting team under Nate McMillan. They shot 31% as a team together, and it was terrible. So they need some shooters to complement them. The team is too injury prone. Last year they missed so much game time together, it's just terrible. They have a new coach now coming in. Hopefully he can fix some of those issues. They kept the Miles Turner somehow. I thought he was gonna be a signing trade to Indiana, to Boston, and Hayward would go to Indiana, and but that never actually happened. and I just believe they're one of the 7 teams that have a playoff lock. I only thought this season only the eighth team would probably be something new, but the other few are playoff locks, in my opinion. So the health concern I'm talking about is that the starting lineup has only played together for only 86 minutes last season. 86 minutes. That is actually terrible, and that's like the Clippers. That's like what the Clippers team had, but the Clippers team played more together than this team. Mostly just because Brogdon's been out, Oladipo's been out for long. Like these guys are injury prone and their health is a concern at this point. At 6, I think the Nets. Okay, this is controversial. Comment down below if you disagree. But this is my opinion, and I don't think. Look, this is why. This is their first year together, like Durant wise, and they had Sham and stuff. They have an injury prone team. Like if you recall, Levert's injury prone. DeAndre Jordan can miss some games. Irving's injury prone. Durant, he can now be injury prone and he missed some time. There's too much drama. If you thought last season has too much drama because of Irving, look at this season. Irving just said, or Durant before this season said, I would coach some days and Steve Nash would coach some days. Like, how weird does that sound? Like, there's no guarantee that Durant will be good. Like, people have been putting them up really high just because they think Durant will be back. If you thought this team was terrible last season, they might not be have the same Durant. I don't think so that will happen. There's no guarantee. I'm not saying that Durant will be bad when he comes. No, I'm just saying there's no guarantee he'll be good. There's a low chance, but if he is back well and healthy, then good for him. But the positives, right? They have great superstars and they have a great bench, so they will be really good. And they just picked up Shamit. But here's the problem: we're talking about third star, and who do y'all think is the best third star for this team? It's really close between these guys. First of all, Dinwiddie averages more points, and then LeVert dominates on the field goal percentage and gets more boards. But then Dinwiddie's more of a playmaker, and then LeVert gets more steals, and Dinwiddie just edges out blocks. The thing is, these two guys are similar. Would you want a guy to have more points but slower field goal percentage by barely than the other guy, or the other guy with better field goal percentage? Or do you guys think? Here's the question: is LeVert the third star, or do you think Dinwiddie is? I think it's Dinwiddie. Have you seen how well he played when Irving got injured last season? If he's the man to control the bench, he would be the perfect man. But or should they just get another third star? These two not the one third star that they need. So comment down below. At fifth, I got the Raptors. Now some people might be mad now. Just hear me out right now. They lost Ibaka and Gasol, and that's already bad enough. But then they got at least some replacements. Got Aaron Baines and Alex Len. Now Baines had a really good game last season, and he's been pretty good for the Suns last season. So for Suns fans, I just want to know, how do y'all feel that Baines left, and how good was he? And then they also got Alex Len. Alex Len has been decent, and he's just been decent. But they need more offensive players. They need better offensive players. The problem last year was they got the defense. Their defense was perfect. They just need more offense. That's why they were losing some games. Because their offense was so bad and they needed more offensive players. But they did keep one player who's really good at that. That's Van Vliet, and that's a great move by the Raptors. I'll give credit where credit is due. Good job by the Raptors to get Van Vliet. But at least they still have Nick Nurse coaching. This man won them the title in his first season. That's not even easy at all. So good for Nick Nurse. But Lowry's getting older and he's seeming like the best player on the team right now. I know Siakam will be the future, but that's all. Like, come on. And they had a horrible free agency, or just a bad one. They lost Ibaka and Gasol, as I said, and that's not good. Then they got Baines and Lenz. They're not as good as Ibaka and Gasol, but then they at least got Van Vliet back. But overall, bad free agency, which means a regress to the team, and that's why, in my opinion, they were from the second seed last season to the fifth. Now, Raptors fans will always argue, but we'll see. And remember when they lost Ibaka, let's just compare them to one of the guys they got. They got Alex Len for Ibaka. So you see, Alex Len has almost is worse than Ibaka by the stats it shows. Ibaka's a better shooter, he's a better rebounder. Alex Len is taller than Ibaka. Ibaka's a better playmaker, but has more steals. Just Alex Len gets one more block. And overall, you can just see by the stats, Ibaka is way better than Alex Len, so this is not an upgrade at all. So huge L for the Raptors team. At number 4, I got the 76ers. Now, this might be controversial. You guys like, how do you put the Nets 6th and then put the Sixers here? You know, when time progresses, you'll see. Now, most people actually got the Nets like 3rd, 2nd, and 4th, but I got them 6th. But I don't know what the other people's reasons are. But let's just talk about Sixers. Another season with Simmons and Embiid. Hopefully they can link up together well because they had good seasons previously. Last season was just a disaster. They got Seth Curry, and that's a great thing. Seth Curry had his best year in Dallas. He was really good, and he was one of the best bench players for that team. And getting Seth Curry is good because they needed shooters, and at least they got one of the best shooters. They also have a new front office, and they have Dylan Morey. Like he's been a really good GM for the Rockets, and getting Dylan Morey is good, but not good enough. And then he just got Doc Rivers, and that makes it perfect. They got Doc Rivers and Dylan Morey, and this Sixers team is looking good. And they traded Horford's bad contract finally and got something from that. And and that looks good. But they also got Danny Green. And they have a new, fresh, hungry team just because they have a new board, new coaching staff, and some new players. Like, hopefully, this Sixers team is looking fresh and is gonna play really well next season because last year was a disaster and a step down, if only that. But here's my question for you guys also. Who would you trade if you had the option? I wouldn't trade any of them, but if you want to trade because none of them are fitting together, then you who would you trade? Because if you look at the stats, they're literally identical, near identical in like Simmons averages less points, but he shoots higher efficiency. But he only shoots higher efficiency because he only slashes. Then Embiid shoots better from 3 and gets more boards. And then Simmons gets more assists because he's a point guard. But then he gets more steals and then he gets more blocks and beats. So like, who would you trade, bro? But they also added Seth Curry and Danny Green. And look at these numbers. They're getting 2 quality players. Hopefully we won't. They won't. Not we won't. I'm not even a Sixers fan. They won't get Danny Green from the playoffs. And these 2 players, if you can see at the bottom left or bottom middle, and you could say they both played exactly similar minutes. One just has more income than the other. And look at Seth Curry. He's averaging 12 points, shooting 50% field. And then look at that efficient 45% from 3. I don't know why the Mavs traded him. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 0.6 steals, 0.1 block. And then Danny Green averaged in the regular season 8 points, 41% from field, 36% from 3, 3.3 boards, 1.3 assists, 1.2 steals, 0.5 block on similar minutes with Seth Curry. So they added some good players in. And for the third place, I'm going with the Celtics. They have another year of developing, and if that last year was crucial because they got a better JT, better Jalen Brown, and hopefully Kemba could fit in even better this season, and this team can develop together again. Because they didn't lose anyone other than like Hayward, or they probably lost someone, but I forgot. They lost Canner also, but yeah. They lost Hayward for the bad thing is they lost Hayward for nothing, and there were rumors they would get a sign and trade with Indiana, and that just never happened for getting Hayward. No, for getting Miles Turner and Indiana would get Hayward, but that didn't work out. And that leads to a bad free agency because they lost two players and did nothing about it. The positive is that they drafted the best shooter in the draft. I think he hit like 91 threes out of 100. He shot like 50% from three. College, he's a beast. I forgot. It was like Aaron Nesmith, his name. But he was really good. They got Tristan Thompson, a big, but he isn't that tall. If you think if he's like 6'10. I don't know why Celtics never have a big man, but he's kind of a big man. But they need more paint defense. Their paint defense was really, really garbage last year, and hopefully they can improve on that. The Celtics relied too much on Tatum. Last year they struggled without Tatum, and that was an issue. So hopefully they can do better. But speaking of Tatum, he will have to be the leader for this team this year, and he needs to be more consistent because there's some games against the Bucks. Remember that game? First game after bubble, he played terrible, and then there was a game against the Heat. He had zero at the first half. Like he needs to stay consistent. He signed a 5-year deal, and he's pretty much the future now because he just signed a 5-year deal. This team believes he will be the person to help them win the ring in the future, hopefully for the Celtics. And if he's gonna be the future, he needs to become a superstar, like Kawhi, LeBron, Harden level, and he just needs to take that next step to becoming one of the best players in the world. And that's not even the only thing. He's only 22 years old, so he's gonna develop a lot and hopefully help this Celtics team. And it's his team now. It's his team to control because Hayward left. He controls it off now. Hayward usually comes off the bench and now he's getting more minutes. It's his team to dominate for. But at number two, I got the Miami Heat. The Heat culture is obviously gonna help them. The Heat really want players to stay in shape, and that's really good. They're a ruthless team. They don't care about how much they destroy you by. Jimmy Butler can now get more chemistry with his team. It's gonna be a second season, a second goal. You know he's motivated to show that he can win a tighter. What? But also, people have ranked this Heat team literally fifth. They did not think they'll be this good back-to-back seasons. They got better from this point on. Bam Adebayo will stay. He signed a new deal. And good for Bam. Hero will play even better because he's second season of developing. And this Heat team's pretty young, so their talents will develop even more. Like Duncan Robinson, Hero, and they're getting Achua this year. So yeah, it's looking good for this Heat team. But if you know last season, Jimmy Butler was literally so good in the playoffs. Maybe the stats don't even show it. Yeah, the stats does show he plays better in this playoffs, but it felt like this man averaged like 30 points. That's how crazy he's been. What a player he's been for the Heat in the playoffs. You know he's clutch. As long as he can stay like this for the playoffs next season or this season, the Heat will have a huge run, and this will help them win the title if they can. Because last season they almost did by the help of this man, but finally, tiredness came and clutched up for the Lakers. And for the number one is obviously the Milwaukee Bucks because they're always one of the best regular season teams ever. Last season they were crazy. They always go first in the regular season. They're literally so good. They added Drew Holiday, and Drew Holiday is a quality player, and that will help them a lot because they lost on Bogdanovich. Now here's the thing: Bucks leaked the deal early on, so then even if Bogdanovich accepted it, the NBA would investigate. And if they found it like illegal, the deal, then Bogdanovich would have no team, and that's too risky. He would lose lots of money. So that's why he did the smart way and just not accept the contract and sign with another team. But this Bucks team still has Giannis and haven't traded him yet as of yet, and they said they're not gonna. So they're gonna make one last push for to win the title because they've been choking in the playoffs, and hopefully they can do that. We'll see about that. But Middleton has to step up and become a superstar. Like everyone has their superstar buddy. Like LeBron got AD. I was just gonna say Harden at Westbrook, but that was gone. You know the point. There's like superstar duos. There's only and this team's only a regular season team. That's why I put them first seed. So if this Bucks team actually if they win a lot of games in regular season, don't act like they're gonna be champions. Just wait till the playoffs. So let's talk about Middleton. They're not as long as they have Middleton. He's a really good player. Don't yeah, I already know that, but he's not like a great second option. Like if I compared him to AD, you see AD is better at almost everything. So that's the thing. If you Who do you think would be better as a second option? Now Bradley Beal's the main option or whoever, Westbrook or Middleton. Maybe Middleton or Westbrook, whatever. Whoever would you guys pick? Um what do you think better, Paul George or Middleton? Paul George is gonna bounce back, so but Middleton isn't as the same second option. But that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and peace out. And be talk out.